Hey guys, welcome to our podcast where it has to be said. My name is Elvis.
And I'm Denise.
Why are you laughing?
Because you pause. Welcome to our podcast.
We just had dinner. I'm full.
I know. And it's hot out today.
Babe, so everybody has been DMing me. They have been sending me messages to figure out if you finally did your primary care doctor's appointment. Since you were into your health, since you were into making sure that you were doing your better self.
Show me a proof of DM.
Excuse me, can I finish my sentence before I get yelled at?
Ain't nobody DM'd him. That's a lie. Anyways, last week we spoke about quality check.
Yes.
Which is why I was just shouting me out because I still lacked in setting up some appointments. But I've been consistent with the plunging every day.
That's it. Well, I'll give you one. And you haven't ate McDonald's.
I haven't ate fast food.
No soda?
No soda.
Look at that. I'm proud of you, babe.
I had a little bit of soda on, what's that day? Independence Day?
Independence Day.
4th of July. I had one soda.
I'm glad you're being honest right now.
But
the reality is coming out right now.
I've been good. I finally walked by myself today, the 2 miles.
Did you?
Not relying on Elvis.
Oh, that's good. So, what Elvis doing?
He went to the gym.
Oh, there you go. So he was taking care of himself as well.
Whatever. But I did it in 35 minutes, in under 35 minutes, so I was excited.
That's good. That means moving forward, you should be able to do it around that time or less.
Yeah. I don't like walking alone. I don't like doing anything alone, like working out wise. Like, it's not fun.
I love working out alone.
But anyways. So, I'm curious to hear, like, if any of you have done anything differently. I did have a coworker say, like, I was feeling what you said. I kind of related. So it felt good to hear that somebody is listening.
Yeah.
Anyways.
The 30 views that we have.
So
we love all 30. We love all 30 of you guys.
Yeah,
so keep on watching our videos.
Shout out to Lisi, who is faithfully always commenting. Like,
yes.
She loyal.
Thank you. I know that I'm your MVP. I'm your favorite,
whatever.
So I appreciate that.
And to Nana, your sister.
Oh,
who's
yeah,
always
absolutely.
Commenting.
Keep on praying for us, sister. I love you.
So today we're going to talk about relationships, but I did get, and I finally get to use it today. I got, what is this called? Tonight's Conversations, a card game.
Uh-oh.
So is relationship debate. So it's, I guess, a scenario, and then we'll pick from there.
I'm not responsible for whatever I answer, okay? I'm just saying right now, I want to hear you.
We haven't been able to look at the cards or even use them.
There's too many cards. I'm not ever going to look at all of them at once.
I've had them sitting here for like a while, and I'm like, you know what? Let's open up with one of these. Oh, you want me to read it?
Absolutely. Supposed to read it.
Why are we doing that?
Go for the kill. Go. You're the one that wants to read all of this.
I don't know. I didn't.
We got to do a live so people could actually ask us questions.
Granted, I did not. Anyways, so it says you're dating a new person, and the oral sex is horrible. How would you teach them to do it right? Right. It says right.
Teach them the right way. Like, listen, don't touch me there. Touch me this way. I like to be touched this way.
Yeah, but it's saying oral, meaning like.
Yeah, I know what oral is, babe. Okay. Yeah, I know what that is. I think you should be honest, right? Hey, listen, you're either doing it too soft, you're doing it too slow.
But it's a new person you're dating. Is it that
you shouldn't be doing that, first of all, but you're just dating them and stuff like that. But if you're in this situation where. Are we supposed to wait for marriage, babe?
I mean, that's what we've been taught.
Okay, so don't say, "Oh, please." It's the truth.
It is what we're taught as Christians to wait for marriage. And I think it's important. I would say it's important. I think that.
Yeah, but you should be honest about it, because if he's doing it wrong or she's doing it wrong, if you guys don't have a conversation where, listen, I don't like you touching me this way, or you're going too fast or whatnot, you guys should have a dialogue about it.
We should be able to, because we're adults, to have these conversations. But there's even people in marriages who are not able to tell their partner, I don't really like when you're doing this, not just oral, but I don't like when we're doing this intimately and I don't feel anything. There's people that really don't have the ability to kind of like feel like
but you should be honest.
I know
you should
that,
be honest,
but
where
there are people who don't know how to communicate without, because I feel like it'll make your partner maybe feel bad, right? So like for me as a woman, like I think if you were to tell me, oh, I don't like how you do this, right? like intimately, I might feel bad. I'm not even gonna lie, because I'm just a little sensitive in that stuff. Because I'm already self-conscious. I'm probably right coming out of my comfort zone in an intimate way. And then for
I
you
think
to
as a guy, we're like, oh, we got this. Oh, forget about it. Like it doesn't matter.
and
Like
y'all don't
nah,
sometimes.
I agree, which is the truth. Yeah, I agree. Sometimes dudes are too fast or too
Yeah.
slow. So I do agree to a certain point, but I don't think as men we truly think as much like, oh, she's not satisfied or she's not enjoying it and stuff like that. I think our self esteem when it comes to that, we're a little bit more like, I got this, and we're a
Yeah.
little bit more laid back. Where
But you should ask.
women are a little bit more shy, more like, oh, I don't want. I'm a little bit more hesitant to have
Yeah.
a conversation about this.
I don't know. I've met women who are very open and are just like, I know what I'm doing, and that's that. Like they have that confidence
They
in
probably
them.
have that confidence with you as a woman.
Oh, that's true. And like how when yeah, that's
When
true.
did this conversation be like, I told this man you need to do it this way and you need to go up that way, right? You
Sit
don't
down, I'm
now.
taking over.
Yeah, no, you do not finish. Hold yourself. There was they could talk all they want, but if they don't have a conversation with whoever they're dating or their spouse or whatnot, they're really not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
They can tell you whatever they want, but if they're not telling the correct person, right, you should have a conversation with the person you're having a relationship with.
Yeah, and I think that it's kind of like if one person has had more experience, right?
Absolutely.
Is being able to say like, hey, like, I like it like this. But also it's kind of like being mindful because, right, you're not gonna compare that person to an ex or how you used to be
No, that's
in
horrible.
bed.
Why would you even do that?
But there's people that do it, like, oh, my man used to be able to please me, but or he knew my spot or
No, no.
whatever,
I think
or this girl knew whatever. You know what I mean?
it
Like,
should be a healthy conversation where I think it opens a door of honesty. Hey,
hmm
listen, I'm not having pleasure. Hey, you're not doing it the way I want. Could you do it this way? Could you do it that way? Right? I think we should be honest with each other because think about it. If you guys are having a relationship where you guys are having sex, right, or oral sex or
yeah,
whatever it is, and you're never having pleasure, I mean, you're never gonna be satisfied,
I
and
know.
you're eventually gonna seek elsewhere,
That's true.
right? But that's on you because if you never told your partner that, hey, listen, I don't like it, because the person could not necessarily be bad. It's just doing a different way where you don't like it that
Yeah.
way. So
And I think that with that too, it comes to like there's people that fake like their orgasm
you
or
don't get
fake
nowhere
enjoying,
like
and it's
that.
like you do not get anywhere out of that, right? Because okay, maybe let's say for that moment that you are in the moment, right? It's not like you're gonna be like, hey, stop, this is not working, I don't
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
this,
No, no.
right?
I think it's later on.
But having later on a conversation like, hey, like, I usually like this, or even using your hands to guide the person to show them like what you like to
Yeah.
do. Like I feel like this is TMI for our Jesus people, so we apologize. But sex
Jesus,
is
people, if you're
normal.
married, you're
We
supposed to
have
have
sex
sex.
too.
That's great. Like, why wouldn't you have sex? I mean, this is a conversation we should have.
Yeah.
And church is like, oh, don't have sex until marriage. Don't have sex until marriage. Okay, what happens after marriage, right? How do you please your wife? How do you please your husband, right? Oh, shoot, I'm
Yeah,
not
because if
supposed to
you've
go
never
through
had
there,
sex, it's
right?
like how
So,
to.
exactly. So, I think these are conversations we should have as Christians too.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I want to make you happy. I want you to have an orgasm. When was the last time you freaking said, oh, listen, let's have a discussion of what makes your wife happy? What makes your husband happy? Now, again, if we're in a public setting, not everybody has to talk about, hey, I like this way, I like that
Yeah,
way.
I don't feel
But
like that's.
it's more
I
about
don't like
where,
that.
no. It's more about you have to be educated in what your partner likes and doesn't like. I think you should know both. It's not about knowing what you like, it's about knowing what you like and what you dislike to
Yeah.
be able that person that satisfy you whenever you need it or want it.
Yeah, and I think that both partners should be satisfied when
I
having
don't know if the conversation is hot or it's just hot in the room, but
it. No, it's just it's hot. It's really hot
we
because
need to
we're like.
invest in an AC. So if anybody that's a sponsor that's listening to this video, LG, anybody like that, want to donate an air conditioner, we need one in our studio ASAP. Okay, comment below, tag a company, let them know we're seeking an AC and we're gonna promote them in our next video.
Hot conversations require good air.
Yeah,
AC.
yeah.
But I think that both partners need to make each other happy. So it's like kind of finding a balance. Like, all right, I mean, I like certain positions or this position, but I know this is good for him or he enjoys. So letting him, doing that for him so he can be happy, and then also making sure it's reciprocated. Because I think sometimes the problem also with intimacy is that sometimes you're kind of, not you, but like one partner is more selfish or self-seeking into getting, their pleasure done
Absolutely.
and finish. Oh, as long as I finish, I'm good. Or as long as I get this pleasure, I'm
It's always the
good.
females that are thinking that way, right?
No, I think men
I'm
too.
just asking. That's it.
No,
I'm
no,
just
I think
asking.
there's men too. I feel like
You
as
know the difference?
what?
We don't only get to come once.
That's
You guys
true.
could do it multiple times and not even get tired. We bust it up after one time, and if you're younger, twice or three times. But after that, forget about it. You need
Yeah.
a blue pill or something like that.
Stop.
You
Or
need
Blue Chew.
yeah,
Or Blue
energy
Chew,
drink.
like this guy be promoting Chick-fil-A. He be so funny
Any
with his little
sponsors out there
promotions.
that want to promote us on next? I'm joking.
For
I'm joking.
what?
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Like,
No.
you gotta promote it for something legit. You can't just be like you wanna get sponsored over something.
No, I
You're
just
gonna
want
be promoting Blue Chew for erectile dysfunction and not have that?
No, I just want to have at least 61 views versus having 60 views. So if we can have that one sponsor watch the whole video, we'll be happy.
But I think it's important. I think is being able to say like, hey, I don't like this.
Absolutely.
Right? Because anything you start allowing from the beginning,
yeah,
not only just intimacy in anything of the relationship, and you don't speak on it or make it known to be something that they're not willing to change, then it's like, it's going to continue. It's going to be a pattern that gets developed over time. And then 10 years later, you're still going to be, he might be great in all these other areas, but you're not satisfied in sexually. And for women, I hear that our drive only gets a little bit more. Ya después, ya mismo, it keeps escalating a little bit more. I get into like a peak. I haven't even reached my peak.
Oh, shit.
A lot of women tell me.
So if I skip a few episodes, you guys already know.
Shut up. So, so it's kind of like
honeymoon phase again.
Shut up. It's important to like carve out those conversations and set a precedent. Like, this is what I'm expecting. I mean, granted, and I think
but your goal as a woman should be to satisfy a man.
Both.
And excuse me. And my goal as a man is to be able to satisfy my woman. That should be my goal. It should be like, oh, let me not finish until at least she finishes, right?
Yeah.
And let me make sure she has her pleasure before I even get to any type of pleasure, right? Because you guys can hold yourself a little bit more than we could. So it's like, we got to communicate even while we're having sex or having whatever we're doing. We have to have some type of communication.
And I think it's also knowing how to say things, right? Because in the moment, that could be such a vibe killer.
No, of course. You're not going to be, hey, babe, you having fun? What type of question is that?
Or like, this is not it, but babe, at all. No. Because then it kind of plays with your head like, oh, like, that's such a turn off that I'm not doing it right. You know
listen, nobody wants to get discouraged. Nobody wants to say, hey, listen, you suck in the bed, right? Nobody wants to get to that point. But everybody could improve. In ourselves, 14 years in, we can improve. Like, what could I do to spice it up differently? What could you do to spice it up? We don't want to do the same routine all the time, We're 14 years married, right? After 20, 30 years, we still want to be having sex.
We got to spice it up.
We got to kind of figure things. Today, you probably like this. Tomorrow, I like this, and try to kind of figure out what works for us.
And I think that I think I've learned like through the years to say like, oh, I don't like this or do this and stuff. And as you mature, you learn to take it and not get offended, right? Yeah. Because it's easy to at the beginning to kind of make it like an ego thing. It's like, oh, what are you trying to say? I'm not good in this or whatever. Like what kind of like your ego a little bit rises up. But it's like, no, like it's understanding, like it's not saying you're bad, you're horrible, but all right, I don't like this. So it's like, okay, if she doesn't like this, then what can we do to make it better so she also enjoys it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because sex is natural. It's part of our life. It helps.
Glorious.
It's very beneficial.
Yeah.
Mad extra. It's glorious. It's very beneficial to our life. It's not everything, right? It's not
absolutely not
everything in life, but it's an important part. And I think that now society sometimes doesn't even give it the value it should have.
Yeah.
In relationships, it's kind of like we give our body to just anybody, and it was meant to be something sacred between a couple. Right now, it's like everyone wants to be all open and experimental, and it's like to each their own, right? Because at the end of the day, what happens behind closed doors
They probably weren't enjoying.
happens behind closed doors, but we should give it the importance it does have.
Absolutely.
Right? Especially like in the work that I do, I see now so many young kids being sexually active, and I'm like, this is why there was like wait till marriage. Because we reduce the importance of intimacy.
Yeah.
And it's like you have all these 12-year-olds already having sex.
And it's almost like they become numb to it.
Yeah, it's like nothing. Like it's nothing. And I interview and I meet kids that are like 14 years old having like 10 bodies. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like it's now with society is like reduce the importance or the value of intimacy, of being intimate with a person. It's like, no, my body is important, right? That I expect people to wait till marriage is very slim nowadays with so much, with pornography, with temptation, with substances, all that stuff kind of triggers.
No, I think they normalize it that you should have it at a young age.
Yeah, but I can see now, like as an adult, when I'm meeting these kids and being in a marriage for so long now, is like it is something important, and I think sometimes we just lose value of it, and just we are willing to give it to just anybody, right? And no, we shouldn't. We should reserve ourselves. We should reserve our body. Our body is a temple. We should take care of it, and there's so many bonds like spiritually that we attach ourselves to when we are having sex to people. And I think that people don't speak about that often. Like literally you're tying yourself to that person you're having sex with, plus whoever else they've probably had sex with, right? So it's not only in a physical level where you could possibly contract STIs or STIs or even become pregnant, but also in a spiritual level, it's like you're finding yourself bounded to those people, right? And as you get older, is that you start thinking about these things like, oh, wow, like I kind of opened the door with this person spiritually. Why I'm having this such attachment that I can't let go of this person years later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's because there's like a tie you do when you have sex, which is why I feel like we need to kind of like give it back the value and importance.
Absolutely.
When we're doing those things. Like
now, let me ask you a question, right? If you're in a relationship, where you probably don't feel satisfied with your partner, right? Whether it be him or her, how would you go about talking with your partner to be like, hey, listen, like, we got to address this, right? Because there's probably people out there that are listening that are not having any type of pleasure in their relationship that they are now. They're probably married for years. How will you go about having that conversation? It's not an easy conversation because you don't want to hurt your spouse.
I think you got to pick the right setting. Right. So I wouldn't recommend like right after having sex, like to talk about that.
Okay.
Right. Because perhaps your partner thinks, oh, that was the best the sex of my life. Right. And you're here like, oh, this
was a roller coaster.
Oh. You're like, this is dumb whack. But you're not going to talk about it in that moment because they're probably in that high or you fell asleep or whatever it is that you do after it. It's kind of like one, knowing the time.
Okay.
Right. You're not going to talk about it if there's other kids or other people around. 2, know what you're gonna say, right? So meaning know what it is you want your partner to do, because I can't say, oh, I didn't like that, but not know what I like. You gotta know your body too. As a woman, you gotta know your body as a man. Like, this is why I don't like it, right? Or XYZ. So you can have some examples as to like what they can perhaps do better without mentioning, oh, so and so used to do it like this or whatever. Like, not mentioning exes. Don't
do that.
Not even mentioning what you see on TV, because the TV, those novelas, the TV shows,
fiction.
It's fiction. It's not real. And kind of like just being able to be like, hey, can we talk about it? Or even guiding them the next time you are doing it, like, oh, touch me here, or like, oh, I like this, whatever, like that in the moment. But it's like knowing your place of when you're talking the conversation, knowing what it is you want, so you can be able to communicate it. I think those were...
Okay, so if you pick the right time, you know exactly what you want from your partner, right? You're going to guide them. How about if your partner's reaction is going to be completely opposite, where your partner gets offended of what you asked for him or her to do? That could happen.
It is.
That could happen because nobody wants to be pushed back and say, hey, listen, we've been together, but I haven't been having an orgasm for this long, or I haven't had pleasure for
Or
this
I was
long, or I
faking.
was faking it, or even if you were just nice and you were like, I just want you to spice it up.
How
You
were you
kind of
doing?
tell them, no, we asking you the questions. So how would you go about that? Because think about it, like, first of all, you were honest, and now my reaction is just being like, oh no, you don't like it, so we're not even gonna have sex, right? Or I'm gonna do less,
Oh, that's
or I'm
hard.
upset, right? So how would you? Because that could happen. You could be with a person that just becomes rebellious, or because you confronted them.
I don't know what would I do at that point because I already communicated with you how I felt.
You gotta do better than that.
It's true. It's like I genuinely wouldn't know what to do. If it was me, I would probably be petty and be like, all right, so if you're not gonna give me what I want, I'm not gonna give you what I want.
Okay.
I mean, what you want. Like
Okay.
I would probably be petty like that.
Yeah. And
Because
what are you
like
gonna get with that?
nowhere the same way that if you're saying, oh, not you, but I'm saying like if he's like, oh no, I don't wanna, then
So
we
you don't think we should retract to the first initial conversation and be like, I was being honest with you, and now you're just being rebellious, or
yeah.
you're closing the doors,
No, but
or
I'm
you're
assuming
ignoring
I'm
me. I'm
assuming
assuming, excuse me, that I could be honest with you and I could tell you how I
yeah.
feel because I want our marriage to work. I want our relationship to move forward. Don't
Hmm.
you think a second conversation would be ideal to, like, hey, listen, I think you kind of took this offensive and I don't want you to take it this way,
No, I
right?
agree, but I'm assuming already that we already have like two or three conversations and it's still like you're not budging.
No,
Then
that's
what?
not what I said. No, that's not.
Then
No,
what?
no, no. I think a dialogue is always important. We have to have a dialogue.
How
I mean,
many?
no, I think after a few dialogues, I mean, you kind of got to give in. Like, listen, if
If you're
she's,
married, is
it's
it worth divorcing because you're not being sexually pleased?
no, that could be worked out. Come on, that
How?
could be worked out.
How?
You gotta improve. It's like going to the gym. You want to be
But what
physically
if
fit, you
he or
gotta
she's
work
not
out.
willing to improve?
That means you don't love that person, man. If you don't want to have the best sex in the world, I mean, something wrong with you. I need to pray for you or something like that because listen, me personally, I want to satisfy you. I want you to have an
Yeah,
orgasm.
but
I want to be the man of your dreams. I want to give you
yeah,
pleasure in every single way I could do it.
yeah,
I feel like that's my responsibility as a man. Like, I don't want you to have to seek it somewhere else. Like
yeah,
you do. I don't want in your mind to cross where, like, oh, I could go somewhere else. No, I'm having an amazing time at home
yeah.
with my husband. I don't need to seek
Like I'm
elsewhere.
good.
Yeah. So
I don't know. That's a tough situation though to be in because I'm sure there's
yeah, it's
people that
horrible. That's why I'm asking you because
they can
I'm
pray, just pray.
no. It's not about only prayer, man. You gotta put
And
in work.
and I'ma say for people who are believers, I'm like I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like,
Dude, think about this.
no, I was just
Oh,
thinking
we just took out
about
the question now.
no, I know, but I was thinking randomly in my head. I didn't even tell you because you were probably gonna laugh. Like you're a believer, but enjoy what happens behind closed door with your partner.
Absolutely.
Like, can you imagine? I was just thinking the other day. I was like, can you imagine someone saying, "Holy Spirit, come, come in this moment."
Oh
Like
my
to,
God.
to dwell in the presence of
No,
the
I'm
Lord.
like, Holy Spirit, help me not come at this moment. Help me hold myself. That's what you got to do. It's not
But
about,
I was just thinking, I was like, oh my God, someone overly religious talking about Jesus come in this
man, you
moment.
ain't thinking
And it's
about
like,
that.
because we were talking about how sometimes people over spiritualize everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So when we were having that conversation in my head, I was thinking, I could see people over spiritualizing even having sex. And it's like, no, like Jesus, I know you're everywhere and you see everything, but close your eyes. Like, I don't need you seeing this. You know what I'm
I
saying?
ain't even thinking about Jesus
Like,
at that moment. I think about you.
I know,
So,
but I just thought about that because we were talking about like overly spiritual people sometimes.
so overall, we just have to have a conversation and work.
Be willing to work and communicate. And I think
And don't take it offensive.
Elvis said don't divorce because you're not sexually satisfied. But there's sex therapists,
Yeah.
right? Because it can be that the partner has maybe some type of trauma
Yep.
that prevents them from really performing effectively,
There you
right?
go. Psychology
They can
side.
have shut up. They can have erectile dysfunction. There's women whose I forgot the body part where we were talking about it the other time that it hurts to have sex.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so they might need to go to a doctor and get checked and whatever. All those things affect, right? Or there's people that might not like, for example, the question that we started with was about oral sex.
Yeah.
There's some people who do not feel comfortable
Yeah.
or do not like oral sex. So it's like, okay, if you don't like to give oral sex and that's what I like as a partner, how can we find a happy medium
Yeah.
where I can also be satisfied
And
and my
does your
need
partner
be
ever
met?
know that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then if your partner
That's
knows that, like, oh, it makes me sick or it makes me
yeah.
nauseous or I get dizzy or whatever.
Yeah.
Having a conversation because
We have to talk
yeah,
about it.
because like, okay, if you don't really like that and it really makes you sick or it makes you feel grossed out, then I need to find something else that we can do together
Yeah.
that I can still be satisfied but also not make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I think ultimately it's just having a conversation, knowing how to say things and when to say it, and being open with your partner.
Yeah, and that should be part of also your goal as a partner, either him or she, making sure that your partner is freaking enjoying it, right?
Yeah.
And that they have the best time in the world,
Yeah.
right? Because at the end of the day, we wait until finally marriage comes and we're together, and it's like, man, we gotta enjoy now, right? Why stop now?
Or we've been dating for a while, because there's people that listen that are not married, been dating for a while, have been intimate, and it shouldn't change once you get married.
Absolutely.
You should still pursue that person. You should still dress up or do things, whatever it is that kind of
take care of yourself.
provokes your
Do
partner, and take
something
care of
different.
yourself. Yeah, to continue spicing it up because it's important. That's a important part of your relationship. It's not all of the parts of your relationship, but it's an important part, and it also kind of ties into one of the love languages, which is physical touch.
Yeah.
And quality time, if you think about it.
This is a good talk.
It was. So it had to be said.
And it was said. Take care, guys.